Hi, this is Eddie. Welcome to another Britsent video. Today we're going to take a little trip to the Scottish Highlands. In particular, you're going to come with me and my family to a little town called Avimmore. Now, if you drove from Edinburgh to Avimmore, it would take you about 2.5 hours, but don't worry, because it would take you through some of Scotland's most breathtaking scenery, as you can see here. Beautiful mountains shrouded in a layer of clouds. Breathtaking. Now, once you arrive in Avimmore, you can do a 1-hour hike up a nearby hill and get a really good look at the town. As you can see, it's surrounded by forests and hills and mountains. When we went up, this was the beginning of spring in Scotland, so a lot of the trees and the plants were still brown, and in the distance you can still see snow on top of some of the mountains. If you're interested in travelling back in time, then while you're in Avimmore you can take a trip on the Strathspey Railway. Simply step into the very traditional looking Avimmore train station, buy yourself a very old-fashioned looking ticket, and then step aboard this beautiful steam locomotive. Just like my family and I, you'll then find yourself thundering through the Scottish countryside, seeing the scenery fly by as clouds of steam from the train float by your window, seeing exactly the same sights and feeling exactly the same feeling as people 150 years ago would have felt. The first station you'll arrive at is Boat of Gart, and as you arrive you'll see a classic steamroller, and if you thought that the Avimmore train station looked old-fashioned, then you'll really like the Boat of Garton station. It looks almost exactly as it would have done 150 years ago when passengers from the time of Sherlock Holmes would have been using it. After a 10-minute stop at Boat of Garton to fill up the locomotive with water, you'll find yourself rolling through the countryside again with the steam floating by the window. You'll be able to look out at the mountains and the River Spey, which is one of Scotland's main rivers. And if you keep a careful look out of your window as the train drives on, you'll notice it's not only people who are amazed by this train, it's also some of the other local Scottish residents as well. Now, my family and I wondered what it must look like to actually see the train coming into the station. So here you can see the train in the distance getting closer, and now you can see what it looks like as it draws into the station, ready to pick up its passengers just the way it's been doing for the last 100 or so years. If you look carefully at the top of the screen here, you'll see a pipe hanging down. That's the pipe that's used to fill the train with water. And now with its new passengers all aboard, the train is ready to set off for the next leg of its journey. If you're a fan of the Harry Potter films, then this might bring back some memories of the Hogwarts Express. Now moving on, in Scotland most lakes are called loch. So near to Avimmore you can get to a very beautiful loch called Loch Morik. If you visit there early enough in the morning before the other visitors arrive, you'll find it an extremely peaceful and tranquil place. Although you might find some of the local residents might come and pester you for food. Again, if you're feeling fit, like my family and I were, you can walk all the way around the loch. It will take you about 1 hour to 1.5 hours. If you do that, you'll see some of the beautiful heather that Scotland is famous for, one of its most famous plants. Again, this is early spring, so it's not as colourful as it would normally be. However, if you're a fan of the TV series The Last of Us, you might be wondering what's hiding among those moss-covered trees. If you manage to survive what's in the forest, then once you're halfway around, you'll come to a lovely lakeside or lochside beach. From there, if you want, you can hire a canoe to go across, and my family and I actually canoed from one side of the lake to the other, then back again before continuing our walk. Now, so far on our journey, we've seen cows, we've seen ducks, but my little boy was interested in a different type of wildlife, so we took a trip to somewhere nearby Avimmore, which has some of the fiercest wildlife in Scotland. The landmark Forest Adventure Park, which is filled with animatronic dinosaurs. Just make sure you take a lunch with you and that you don't become the lunch. Now, another very beautiful loch near Avimmore is Loch an Eilean. Not only is the loch itself beautiful, but it also has a castle in the middle of the loch, or at least the ruins of a castle. So we can only imagine what it must have been like to live there and to have to take a boat in and out every time you wanted to get back and forth from the castle. And of course, if you've ever visited the UK, you will know that it rains a lot in the UK, even more so in Scotland. But that's not always a bad thing, as you can see here. Often it actually adds to the beauty of the place. So, I hope you enjoyed seeing some of this footage that my family and I took during our wonderful trip to Avimmore and the surrounding area. And who knows, maybe if you're in Scotland sometime, I might see you there.